Neglect. Now I noticed that no one said neglect whenever when I asked what neglect was. Is there a reason that slipped your mind? Or just
We forgot about it.
you neglected it? That's good. Anything else?
I guess because it doesn't have abuse in the title, so you don't really, when you think of forms of abuse, you don't really think of neglect first anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you forget a child's always at home. That's not neglect, that's just being busy. Or sometimes, which this has happened to me, your parents wait to pick you up from school. That's not neglect. I mean, that just happens. You know, is it happening over a long period of time consistently? That's when it becomes abuse. So, neglect is leaving a child in a situation where that child is exposed to substantial risk physically and mentally, or not arranging for necessary care of a child. Signs and symptoms. Obvious malnourishment and inadequate nutrition. The child isn't getting the nutrients that they need. That's neglectful. Yes, sometimes parents can't afford to buy the organic and the most top-of-the-line healthy grocery items. But there are things that are cheaper. There are programs available where they can go to help provide for their child. Lack of personal cleanliness. Child isn't taking a shower regularly. There's something going on there, and we need to investigate it. If the parents are just really busy and they're not telling the child to take a shower, there needs to be something done. Either the parent needs to know that, hey, you need to let your 5-year-old know they need to take a shower every day, or hey, you need help. You need parenting classes because there are things going wrong that the child is being affected by. Again, torn or dirty clothing. Yes, we've all worn the same pair of pants on the next day, but it's when you wear the same shirt that has a huge hole in it 5 days in a week, or same ratty socks 10 days in a row. Yeah, there's poverty. There's people who can't afford to buy new clothing, but there are also programs available in the communities where people want to help families grow and flourish, and they're out there, and all you have to do is look for them. If the parent can't afford something, go to the school. Schools know the programs to go to. The need for medical glasses or dental care or medical care, that's unintended. If a child broke her or his leg, and they're not taking it to the doctor, the child's not going to be like, hey mom, I broke my leg, can you take me to the doctor? And they may say that. They very well may say that. Chances are they're just going to think their leg hurts. It's the parent's job or the uncle's or the caretaker's job to say, oh my gosh, Jimmy, you broke your leg, let's go to the doctor. That's the role of a parent. And then consistent hunger, stealing, begging for food, or distended stomach. Children are growing, they're always hungry, but it's when a distended stomach is when you're malnourished, and so your stomach bloats and becomes hard as rock. You see the pictures or the videos in Africa where the childs are malnourished. That's what the distended stomach is. In America, if a child has that, there's something wrong. It's wrong in Africa, very wrong in Africa still. But in America, there are foods that you can buy. There are community resources that are available for every family to go to feed their children. And then a child unattended for a long period of time. My friend's a police officer, or was a police officer in Crum, and she told me when she was on parole at night because she had kids, and so her husband would work during the day. Patrol during the day, and then she would go to work at night. And then one day she was on patrol, it was like midnight, and there was a 2-year-old sitting outside of a house, and she was like, well, there's no parents around here. So she took the 2-year-old, put her in her backseat. She didn't know what to do, the child was alone. And so she drove around the block a little bit, and then she knocks on the door where the child was, and was like, hey, do you have any children? They freaked out, they didn't know where their daughter was. And she's like, it's cool, but you're gonna have to come in and talk to me. He's a child. No 2-year-old should be left alone at 2 o'clock or midnight. And that's pretty extreme, but it happens. And then frequent absences from school. Everyone's heard of truancy. If a child isn't going to school, it's the parent's job to tell them, hey, Jimmy, I know I use Jimmy, I don't know why. Jimmy, you need to go to school. And then self-destructive behavior, extreme loneliness, and the need for affection. Every child wants attention, but there's a difference between attention and affection. And being self-destructive, if a child wants to hurt themselves, there's something going on.